Pull that over there. Just checking on the YouTube. Pixie Lady, welcome in. Nope, denied. Denied. So last time I got this little like microphone. Where is it? I got this little microphone that like the techie folks have like clipped onto their, maybe the light is a little better, clip onto their shirts or their collars or whatever. And I haven't used it yet, but I was like rewatching this last show and the sound was really like in and out with the music was kind of weird. So if it does that, do let me know. I was gonna say Gibby. Envy, is that yours? Gibber. Yeah, I figure. Of course it is. Of course it is. Very appropriate. Very appropriate. I was having fun with those. Cactus, welcome in. I was looking at the colored text, the little like rainbowy kind of text, and I really like those. But I haven't decided all the points things. I don't know if it's fully rolled out or if it's just like some sellers and they're just like, doing like they just kind of did the next wave of sellers to get the points thing. But it's like so many things going on in the screen. It super has like I'll put this down so my eyeballs are more up. TikTok vibes where, if you go into a TikTok live stream and there's just like a ton of stuff happening and it's almost like too distracting, it's almost like to a fault. And so like I'm like, I want to get that rainbow text, but I don't know if that makes your chat more annoying or like hard to read or hard to, kind of takes away from the words instead because you're just like looking at the rainbow. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. View your channel. Laptop's a little slow. Just trying to make sure we're multicasting correctly. Not that I read the chat well, because I do not. But we are live. Heck yeah. Delay as per usual. It's fine. It's fine. There we go. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Making sure we're good. If you're watching over there, please feel free. 10 watching on YouTube. Hi, you guys. Welcome to it. Welcome in. I will tell you guys over on YouTube, I'm not good at reading two chats. And so please feel free to hang out and just like have a listen in. But if you're Pixie, thank you for the share. But if you're interested in joining the chat or asking any questions, especially, please feel free to hop over to Whatnot. You should be able to just follow that, screenshot that QR code at the top, and it'll bring you over. It's a cool place. I'm just saying. But otherwise, feel free to hang tight there too. And you message me if there's any like things. I'm not real I'm never sure who's watching over there. And so it always like I'm always curious. But thanks for popping in here to Tuesday chat, you guys. And so Confident Beauty, welcome in. So it's a little squirrely of a topic today. I like to lead with that if that is going to be the case, just so you guys can like mentally prepare for that afternoon. But I think it's a fairly decent topic. Let me make sure the screenshots carried through. Um, oh, I was like, no way. That was a while ago. The topic is systems. The topic today is systems. I don't remember if I put that. Curly Q, welcome in. I don't know if I put that in the show title or not. I tried to keep it straight. The archivist, I see you. Hello, hello. Um, but systems, I think it's a real good topic, and we'll kind of explain why kind of as we go. And I think it's been brought up here and there kind of in relation to other specific things, but not just as a whole. And I wasn't quite sure how to present it, and that's why it's going to be like a little bit squirrely, but essentially, we do have notes. We do have notes. Essentially, it's broken down to like things that apply to all the things in our business, right? Um, our pie chart, right, of all our departments and things. What applies to all those things, and then also some examples for like more practical use case as far as what we can do with it. Ooh, is it Mayor? Oh, well, hello. Not sure what that says. I hope it's positive. But hello, thanks for joining. So that's the topic. I think it's a good chew though. I do think it's a good chew. I'm gonna try to at least emphasize the takeaways and so it's actionable. That's the goal. We'll see if we get there. But as per usual, we got a little bit of news. A little bit of news, get us started. If you're on YouTube, are you also on Whatnot? Or have you not made the jump yet? I'm curious. I am curious. Maybe I'll challenge myself today to do a little bit better of staying on the chat over there because it doesn't save after the show either. So I'm always like, I don't know. Hopefully it was nothing important. Let me just find a blank page to write some notes. My lilac bloom calendar notebook here. Okay. All right. So having fun today. It's so far so good. So far so good. I actually woke up, Owen Patrick, welcome in. I actually woke up at like 4 something this morning. And some of you guys know I don't even go to bed till like 2. And so I was like, why am I awake right now? And I was like, well, I may as well get up and get on the computer. Went to get on the computer. My computer was dead, basically dead. And so I was like, well, I'm not doing that. So naturally hop on the Whatnot, and there were some good chat shows this morning. Some that I don't normally catch. I was just like incognito hopping through shows. So I got to see um King. Congratulations. Hello, KT. I was able to catch, well, D Archivist was on this morning. I was in there for a little bit, D. I got to see Philly Flipper was on. I got to see Faded Flamingo. I got to see Daisy Lane. I got to see Zoe's Treasures was on Selling, and she had like almost 100 people in her room. And it occurred to me when I hopped, that was the first show I think that I hopped in. And it occurred to me, I don't think I ever catch those shows. Like for anyone on the East Coast, just know that the West Coasters, if you're like butt crack of dawn East Coast, the West Coasters, you're off the radar. We don't see you at all. We don't see you at all unless we are up early or got insomnia or something, which was, I guess, a little bit of the case. But it was really cool to see some folks that like typically I don't get to catch their shows. Green 13 was on. He wasn't chatting, but he was on. Wild Hope was on this morning. There was a lot going on. Somebody was doing tarot readings. Trying to think what else. You know what I did not, you know what I should have done, which I didn't have time. See, I don't know how I did try to go back to sleep. But it wasn't like super successful, but I should have came out here and made another print because I was gonna do my art piece as prints for like raid protocol, and then I freaking dropped the ball. And then by the time I was like hanging out with my kid, and by the time I got out here, I was like, whoops. So regular raid protocol, and I will have prints next week, hopefully. Green and Leafy, how you doing? Hello, hello, happy Tuesday. Um, yeah, great freaking chats. And Zoe's Treasure, she was talking about, if anyone didn't get this memo, and actually I have a note about her in my notes here because as one of the updates, because she has like a thing going on. But if anyone didn't catch the memo, I don't know if I was late to this announcement. Somebody smart shopping. Hello, hello. But did you guys know Zoe's Treasures wrote a book? Did we know that? Because I was in the show, or maybe I was in last night. Maybe she was on yesterday and today. By either case, I was like, "Did I hear you right? That you wrote a book?" And she was like, "Yep, it's it." So it's like it's not public yet. Sarah, welcome in. It's not public yet, but it's um, like the preprint or something. It's at some stage where it's like written and it's like almost done, and they're just like kind of doing that final check or whatever before they like get all the prints and stuff. So I'm just gonna preemptively Highly recommend. I don't even know what it's about. I'm assuming it has to do with taxes, finance, business, all this kind of stuff. Wild Hope, how you doing? Great chat show earlier, as per usual. I'm assuming it's stuff that Tracy and Noel talk about in their chat shows, just in a nice little package of a book. And they're just a wealth of knowledge. And so I just think it's going to be amazing. And anybody that can should just go ahead and pre order if possible. Yeah, mandatory follow. 100%. You know what? Let me mod. Let me not wait till the end to start modding. Want one made of natural fragrance and antibacterial wood. Want one what? King. Sounds interesting. Whichever thing you're talking about. Beautiful girl, how you doing? What kind of paper do you like for prints? You know what? I'm a terrible person to ask. I don't know because I've only made one print. I've only done one print. I can tell you it is a Lean printer, Liene printer, and it comes with its own like photo paper. And so that, so I just had to pair it with the printer. But I know when I was looking at options for getting prints and stuff, there were a couple websites I landed on, Shutterfly being one of the bigger ones. And I know that there's like a whole laundry list of different paper options and stuff that you can get if you like order prints. And it definitely looks like they're not created equal. The cost is different and different things. Oh, weird. Chat disconnected and then reconnected. That's interesting. Yeah, Wild Hope is too for the what are they called? Fireweeds. So fascinating. I think I know that you know what? I tried to put a thing out actually on the Whatnot Handcrafted Artisan page on Facebook of like, hey, artists, like, where do you get prints? And there was only one person that answered me. I was like, dang it. But I think they do their prints in house also, which I will say, well, see, I'm not really, I need to put this in. I'm not, I don't, without have the only thing I know is that the print that I printed is good enough quality for me. For me. But I'm sure that professionals know very much the difference between their papers. And did you guys know that you can get your artwork printed on other materials besides paper? Because I just learned that you can get, it's expensive. It's expensive, but you can get your artwork printed on wood. You can get it printed on metal. You can get it printed on canvas, all these kind of things. I was like, what? Flat canvas and like, wrapped around the like framed canvas type of thing, all these things. I was like, dude, so many options. They're pricey though. They're pricey. Forgot about ordering them too. I mean, it happens. Deal Master Kim, welcome in. This is a system I need to get together. So I don't have like a regular printer, like an ink printer or anything, but if I was to get one, I would get it with that in mind because it could be that that would be the best bet without like I don't nothing I say on this topic is going to be like fact, okay? Just put that out there. But I would think just a standard printer that's just very high quality that you can just swap out the inks and you can swap out the papers and stuff, that would probably give you the most wiggle room to kind of test different things and use different print different sizes and things. Like the only thing I can print is 4x6 photos with this one kind of paper, like that's it. But I know there's perks to doing other types of paper with the ink because you can like transfer them with Mod Podge to different things and there's just stuff. And so hello, hello. So there's things. If I find out, I'll let you know. um, oh, gotcha. Well, King, Right on. Right on. Yeah, so let's see. Thanks for hopping in here, you guys. The let's see. On the topic of Zoe's treasures, since we are just mentioning her, I gotta tell you guys too. Aside from the book, thank you for the share, Curly Q. Aside from the book, she let me see if I can pull up the message so I can tell you exactly. She is going to be starting to drop this little nugget in her chat shows for arts and handmade sellers specifically. So if you are arts and handmade, listen up for just a second. Why does this look different? Where's my inbox? Lucila, welcome in. All right, Lucia. Okay, arts and handmade folks. We're just gonna kind of sprinkle the news and updates in, okay? Arts and handmade folks, check this out. Zoe's Treasures is starting something new in their Monday morning shows. Monday morning shows where they are intending to showcase handmade artists. Okay. I was just saying, I was in their show. I think it was this morning, or I guess it could have been yesterday. When I don't sleep, like my days get mixed up because I went to bed like today and then like twice today already. Anyway, they had like almost 100 people in their show. Okay, so just lead with that. Monday morning shows, they're going to be showcasing handmade artists. So let's see. I don't want to read out loud all of it, but they want to show photos and artist logos on their green screen behind them. So if you've been to their while they do their chat shows, and so if you've been to their shows, Tober, how you doing? Welcome to it. They have they have actually kind of a cool setup. I think they do like the OBS and all that, but they got like these little cool transitions and things that go on the screen. They're like kind of fancy with it, right? Because it's two of them. So Tracy will be talking, doing her thing. Noelle will be like on the text stuff, and so like they kind of cut back and forth between Tracy's face and the products on the things, and then when they're doing their chat shows, someone raids in or purchases or whatever. There's just all these like fancy things, right? And then one of the things is a green screen, right? And so they would like to put this call out for any artists and handmade folks to send them photos of their products. Send them product photos. What Liz likes, welcome in. Thank you for that tag. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna mod. What am I doing? Allowed to mod. Tober's running around naked. Wild Hope gets a mod. You guys, if there's anybody, no pressure for anyone I'm going to mod to, but for those that do have a hat, just know, and especially if there's any newer folks in here, Tiny the artist, how you doing? You get a hat as well. Just know that if anyone has a mod next to their name, their I trust the information that they give. So if they like answer questions or anything like that, um, they kind of get my stamp. I feel like there was another one. Where was it? Right there. There you is. There you is. Okay, but no pressure to like actually mod, but I just want to highlight their names, okay? So we got some hats. Okay, we're not all naked. Vintage Gypsy, how you doing? Hello, hello. Let's see here. Just marked her show to check out. Oh yeah, especially if anyone's not visited, like not familiar with Zoe's mod. Um, she's an accountant. Like she does taxes. That's her like area of expertise. But she's been on the platform for some time. Curly Q heating up the chat. Heck yeah. Skipper Miller, I'm doing all right. How are you? How are you? Thanks for hopping in here. King, what's your question? What's your question? Please do shoot. Um, Wealth and knowledge. Zoe's Treasures, wealth of freaking knowledge. It truly is a mandatory follow in my book. If anyone is unfamiliar, highly recommend getting to know them. They touch on like all aspects of business, but then just especially all the numbers stuff, analytics and financials. They are the go-to resource. I know that there are a few others. Deplatree is a tax person, accountant, accountant. And I feel like there's another one, but Zoe's Treasures, always on, always talking to things. And again, putting out a freaking book. You guys, that's so cool. Purdue fan, how you doing? How you doing? So, ooh, secret of my happiness. I was asked on YouTube, what is the secret of my happiness? I'm gonna have to think about that. That's a solid question. Thank you for that. Tagged over. Secret to happiness. Secret to happiness. What is the secret to happiness? Just being happy with, be grateful, probably. Just being grateful for what you have while you're working towards what you want. Um, yeah, I'll say that. Being grateful. So with Zoe's Treasures, I think Arts and Handmade folks, she is putting a call out for y'all to send her photos of your products and your logo, and she is going to start displaying them on the green screen behind her. And so take advantage, you guys. I don't know how many photos. Let me see. Um, just says some photos of their handmade items, and they'll feature a few people each Monday. And 100 something people are going to see these, you guys. And so we gain traction and we grow like little by little, one person at a time. Just any of these opportunities for visibility and stuff, seize them, right? Someone puts it out there. So go get on the green screen. Go get on the green screen. Ice cream is solid too. Ice cream is solid. I have to tell you guys, oh, there's the rainbow chat. See, I really like that. I really like that. I think that's my favorite. I have like these, I think I have like 3,000 points just from like, tapping the screen and folks' shows and stuff. And I'm like, what do I spend it on? Because I was going to I really like that rainbow chat. It's so fun. But I was like undecided because I was like, do I save up and get a Jumbotron? What's the right thing to do? Can I ask you guys, is there anyone in here that does not have points yet? I'm super curious if that's fully rolled out or if it's just some sellers, if it's just like wave two, or is it like full blown, like everybody has it? Anyone in here that doesn't have access to points yet? Cool, but hard to read from a distance. See, I was curious about that too. And even there's one that's like a maroon box that goes around it. That to me is a little bit hard to read because I like that one too, but I was like, and then like I look at the colors more so than the text. And so I was like, I don't know if that's just me and my eyes, but there's also one that's like a bright green box, and that one messes me up because I feel like it looks like someone is like first time purchase. Or it's funny because these freaking things show up brighter than the raids. You guys notice that when we're like, hey, whatnot, like, because you remember the raids used to be like, woo, like production, and then it just kind of switched one day and it was like raid. Raid. And it just like gets missed all the time and stuff. And so now when we see the points, I'm like, dang, those stand out more than the dang freaking raids. What's up? What's up with that silver moon mama? How you doing? I fix my cord down here. um what Liz likes, I got your soap in. So excited. So excited about that. I'm super excited to try. Actually, I should have took that in the shower with me this morning. You guys, what Liz likes had just a genius idea that I'm going to bring up because I think anyone could maybe apply this concept to their own crafts in some way, shape, or form. Like I know there's some trains and some handmade folks that are like zero waste and stuff like this. What Liz likes when she makes her soap. Actually, if anybody hasn't seen it, let me just show you the art that it is. When she makes her soap, you guys, this is what Liz likes soap. It is the natural. It comes with like you can see the ingredients and all this kind of stuff. Just freaking masterpiece. Okay, it's got like the bougie. Um, if you can see the edges, she like shaves the edges off of this, and it's the details for me. It's the details. She shaves the edges, and so from the first use, you're just like, I love it. It's so aesthetically pleasing from the first use. Those shavings, she keeps them and puts them in one of these, I think it's like the same type, like an organza bag type. And so you just have this bundle of just lathery goodness. And I got some because I was like, I bet you that's amazing. And the anise or whatever, it smells kind of like licorice or something. It's like, dude, that's gonna be amazing. I can't freaking wait. And so but mostly I love the concept of just being like, okay, well, I have this. What could I do with this? And then like making lemonade. So if anyone is like has like scraps of things, especially fiber artists, paper crafters, whatever you got, really get creative because I'm telling you, I sat in that show and people were buying. I think they sold out. Actually, she had all these bags of like the shavings, and I'm pretty sure they all sold out. Like it's a thing. And genius, freaking genius. So kudos to you. And I bought them too. So you know what I mean? So it's like freaking genius. Love it. Love it. Love it. Seeing some still without okay. I got points but no oh really? It took me a minute to find the colored chat. I don't know if it could be that the options of what we can buy with our points look different seller to seller. That could be a thing. I feel like I remember reading something about that. But I know I didn't see it the first couple days, but the yesterday when I looked, I saw it in there. But there's some stuff that I see other people have that I don't see as an option for myself. And so um there's like little nuances maybe to them. Oh, Pixie, you have the points in that. Oh, interesting. So I wonder how they pick who they roll out to. Interesting. Green box is easier, but yeah, 100%. Yeah, the little A thing at the top of the box. I think it might just be Android that doesn't have some feature. Oh, it could be. It definitely could be an Android Apple thing. Freaking poor Android. Just the stepchild moment for all the Android folks. Whatnot. I was Android for like since I was like 16 or so, whenever I got my first phone. And then Whatnot converted me. I was like close to 40 years old, and then Whatnot converted me. Is that a bunch of unlocks? Officially the friends. You're official. You're official. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Here, I need to expand the old chat here. Oh, the secret of happiness is love. I like that. I like that too. Yeah. Oh, right on. Well, right on, King. We're gonna be well, we're just talking about Whatnot. We're talking about Whatnot. We're here for about 2 hours every Tuesday. For those on YouTube, we're here for about 2 hours every Tuesday. Kind of generally talking about Whatnot and live selling. There, I try to work in some updates. I usually have some kind of quote, some kind of shout out, and then some topic that we'll kind of dive into a little bit more, and the topic changes each week. Blasian Bunny, how we doing? Faded Flamingo. Faded, I was lurking in your show earlier. I was like up at some ungodly hour, and I was like, oh my gosh, Faded is on, and she's just selling, just doing the thing. I was like, heck yeah, look at you. Look at you, is Faded o'clock. I was like, I'm here for it. Kat, hello, hello. I know I missed a couple comments. Sorry. Lori, welcome in. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. Got mine today. It's yes, exactly. It is Lost Mermaid. It really is. Yep, and it's pretty and it's all the things. It is all the things. Wish we had some smell-o-vision. Yes. One day. You see fabric scrap. Yeah, I know that the fabric scraps and stuff, I'm still waiting. Any fiber artists in here? I have asked multiple fiber artists, like, can I just have like a bracelet? I just want a bracelet with a button. That's all I want. It can be braided, it can be crocheted, it can be anything. It just earth tones, just nothing like too, Crayola rainbow, but just like some earth tones. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what colors. And just a bracelet, because when I do jewelry, I want stuff that I can put on and leave on. Like I don't. I don't switch out. Oh my gosh, I'm naked. Where's my bracelet? I think I take it off to get in the shower, so it's probably in there. But a bracelet from Tober, and these earrings are like everydayers, and but they gotta be comfy enough to like sleep in and stuff. Some I don't want to take in the shower, but otherwise it's like it's gotta be comfy. And I feel like that's perfect for scraps, just little bracelets, right? And I'm like, why doesn't everybody not sell those? I don't know. Lavender tea with tea bags from Last Mermaid. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Love it. Okay. I'm gonna try to not touch the chat too much so I can just stay faster. How about that? Because sometimes, I'll just be 10 minutes behind. So let's try to not do that today. So, you guys, Blasian Bunny has a book too. Did we all know that? The Blasian Bunny has a shipping, I think it's like a shipping book. Um, Good stuff. One of the advantages of first mover advantage, right? These actually that's gonna segue nicely. Tremolo. That's a cool little, is that a points thing or is that just a thing? How do you get that on there? Oh, you have is it just the emoji, but then do you have a blue box? See, I don't have a blue box as an option for mine. That's a good example because I have like a red box option and then I saw a green one. King, this is true. This is true. I like that color a little better, I think. Hmm. Okay, so that's a good kind of segue, or at least I'm going to call it that. There was a blog post. Anyone that's watching or tracking the videos on YouTube, you would have already seen this, or tracking the blog, you have already seen this because it came out on the 7th, so 4 days ago. Whatnot had this blog post out. I won't read it, but I'll just tell you, I did read it. We did a story time on the YouTube. But either case, the highlight is, I even saw this on their social medias and stuff. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they got feedback about the green because it was very bright. It was very bright. And so, if anybody missed it, Whatnot just got another round of funding, you guys. Biggest funding round yet. Series G funding, $545 million. $545 million. That is over $500 million. That is so many dollars. That's so many dollars. I was like, what? So let me see. Was there some? I feel like there was an interesting data piece in here. Let me see if I can find it for you guys real quick. They basically talk about how they're going to invest it. Oh, check this out. They basically talk about how they're just going to invest it into sellers and bring more people on the app and this kind of thing. But listen to this stat. I'll just read the whole sentence. Maybe the proof is, this is straight from the blog. The proof is in what sellers are doing. Halfway through this year, sellers have already sold more than they did in all of 2025, and more than 650,000 people. 650,000 people are joining Whatnot every week, you guys. 650,000 people are joining Whatnot every week. What? I think like 3 years ago, that would have been like that's so many people. That's hard to even fathom. Like, take note if you have a chat show or a book, right? Tell all these people, like, go get the book from Blasian Bunny, right? When Zoe's Treasures is like fully released, like, go get the book. Like, lots and lots of new folks coming in, which if you're one of them, hey, if you're here, I love that you found this little corner of the Whatnot. And if you're newer, if you are one of these 650,000 joining every week, please feel free to drop any questions. Even if I don't answer, someone in here will be able to answer. Um, so please feel free. Yeah, they just say it's let's see who asked that. Wonderland, is it Sean or Shan? Shan, they just really say uh well, the funding goes towards supporting the businesses building on whatnot. They're very generic with their verbiage. We're investing in trust because buyers return to a marketplace they believe in, type of verbiage. And so it's not super clear. If we're being honest, it's not super clear. But it's a lot of money and they're onboarding a lot of people. Mm, just reading in my head because it's a little bit quicker sometimes. Mm, no problem for what? Cog. Shop happy. Hello, hello. Yeah, all the new friends, and it's kind of awesome. It actually got me thinking. Those just coming in. We are going to talk about systems today. That's the topic. But it got me thinking that maybe because I typically do these shows based on just kind of what I'm chewing on currently, and I try to keep it different to kind of like touch on the different aspects because there's a lot more to live selling than shipping, but that seems to be like the go-to topic for a lot of chat shows, right? Or at least historically, and then more recently, like if anyone's not tapping into what Liz like shows, hers are very like specific to different topics, which I love. And um, Wild Hopes are focused on handmade for the most part, which I super love. Different chat show hosts have different focuses, but a lot of chat shows just are more like Q&A, and so they like lean into shipping heavily. De-archivists are, I want to say, like lots of tech information in those. So like everyone's kind of got their niche. But mine are typically, I feel like mine are typically not super like brand new seller friendly because while I try to be, welcoming to newer folks, the topics that we cover are more like they're not really like beginner. And so now that we don't have that like one a month dictated topic for the community host group, I may never quote me on anything till I actually do it. If anyone's new to me, that's just, I'm just thinking out loud here. But may do a once a month just Q&A style, or just like, hey, if you're new, no stupid questions, just come on in here and just ask all the things. Um, Something like that, because I feel like, man, I almost feel like we have a responsibility to like help some people out. You know what I mean? Because when you're new, you guys remember when you're new, you're like, what's a bin? First of all, someone explain that to me. What is a bin? What is a raid? How do I do it? How do I get on a raid train? There's just like the common, what is sudden death? Like the just the common stuff, that the nomenclature that you just don't know, that you're on a learning curve. Yeah, why is everyone saying boobs? Like what? You know what I mean? It's just there's things that we kind of take for granted after a while, and so it might not be the worst idea to kind of and if there's any, I know there's a few chat show hosts in here. If that resonates with anybody, feel free to take that also. Just like having a focused chat just for newer folks, because 650,000 coming every week. That's so many questions that there's like a need there that needs to be filled. You know what I mean? Anywho, I digress. Is that just buyers or buyers and sellers? I suspect buyers and sellers. I suspect. I suspect. I don't know if it really clarifies. I don't remember if it really clarifies, but well, it does kind of say that it's like more focused on supporting sellers, but part of that is bringing buyers. So there's that. There's that. Let me see if I have any other updates. Yours are more about how to keep things going, I feel, and how to improve along the way. Green and leafy. Thank you. I love that. And actually, because I have a hard time categorizing mine, because it's just like, I don't know, whatever we're thinking about. That's what we're talking about. But there is actually, I'll tell you guys, there's only 30 in here, so this will just be our secret, okay? I'm working on something I'm working on something that has to do with some of the stuff that we discuss in these chat shows. So, like, sometimes I ended up getting like keeping notes for a bunch of stuff. And then I was like, at some point, I was like, I feel like I should do something with these notes. And so I'm working on something. It's going to take time for sure, like months to button up. But I I figure when I write, it's more like when I take notes and stuff, it's way more cohesive than if I'm just talking. And so sometimes when we're doing these chat shows, and I'm like, you know what? Let me ask you guys something. It's because I'm taking notes, like, and I'm trying to fill the gaps of what's, I'm only one person. I have my ways of doing my things and my perspective and stuff. But I almost work like backwards compared to the way most people come on and launch their like live sales journey. Like I kind of worked from I'll share at some point maybe like how like my strategy and how but basically long of the short of the long of it is I'm working backwards. Um we'll see how it pans out like that. But either case, you guys fill in the gaps of knowledge. And so sometimes when we're like, having a group activity, that's why, because it's I'm collecting notes for something. Thank you for the share. King, I love that. Love that. Let's see. So it is so many human beings, dude. I'm telling you, Wild Hope and everybody. Can we just we'll put this in perspective, and then I'll hop back into the updates. That was mostly it, but I do have a shout out, and then there's a reminder. But let's just pause and just really know, okay, that those are real numbers, okay? 650,000 people a week is a real number. And this is a real number of a platform. Thank you for the share, Faded. Of a platform that we are on. Okay. This is what we are part of. And kudos to everyone who found it now, because Whatnot is still, even with those numbers, in the crawl, walk, run stage, right? Like I hope that if we didn't realize it before, we realize now and going forward that they will be one of the top tech companies in the world. They are positioned for that. Like if anybody was any kind of like on the fence about that, that's in my mind since the beginning is 100% happening. Whatnot is going to, if I had to just throw out a number, I would say, like, I'll just put it like this. It's not going to surprise me if there's a day where they say, hey, we hit a billion users. We hit 1 billion users. They're global. Matter of fact, keep in mind, they're global. And they just had like a model that they just proved the concept here in the States. And they just have been launching to all these different countries one by one by one. And then they're getting those countries to talk to each other. We can ship, they're erasing borders, like the size and the scope that is Whatnot that we are a part of. Like, and I think it's worth like just sitting with for a moment sometimes, because it's totally unique landscape to do business in. Like that opportunity has not been there in the past. But it also just kind of sometimes we, especially if there's anyone newer in here, take note. Sometimes we get really like critical of ourselves, and we feel like everybody's watching us, and we get really like I am the same way, but like it takes practice to just be like, okay, nobody cares. um so if it's helpful, like when we make a mountain out of a molehill and it's like everything is such a big deal, it's helpful to just remember that like we are a drop in the pond. We are truly a drop in the pond. So I don't know how many users are on the platform today, but I know that they onboarded like what, 20 million last year or something like that. And it's hard to even fathom those numbers. But the way growth works, it's like exponential, right? So that means like over 20 million this year, over 20, you know what I mean? And that's an amazing place and time to be in at the ground floor of something like that. And so I feel like it's just a moment for that perspective. And GR Carter, hello, hello. So yeah, Whatnot's freaking huge, and we think they're huge now. Just wait. That's the thing. Is like just you wait. Just you wait. They're not stopping or slowing down anytime soon, in my view. The opportunity is truly endless. We can't even fathom what they're going to be. They're only on their like sixth year or something like that. Like hard for us to even truly go, what is Whatnot going to look like in 15 years? What is it going to look like? And that is also good to keep in mind, because it's a nice reminder that like we have to stay super flexible to whatever evolution Whatnot is going to have, because they will evolve over time. They're still a baby. Even with those numbers, they're still a baby. Maybe a toddler at this point, maybe a toddler. Either way, what other platforms are trying? Yes, yeah, all these other platforms trying to keep up with them. They ain't gonna catch them. They ain't not catching them. They're really not. They're leading the way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure marketing, Shiznits, I'm pretty sure marketing is some of it, because I've been seeing their ads on YouTube a lot this last year, I want to say. And then I've been seeing them. Maybe it's bias observation, but I feel like they're posting more on their socials between, like they had a post on X.com this morning. I think it was this morning. They're on TikTok. They have multiple things on Instagram. They have different channels for their different countries too. So it'll be like Whatnot dot UK or Whatnot underscore UK type of stuff. They're freaking huge. Freaking huge. Which, by the way, if you guys are doing socials, do hashtag Whatnot app. Whatnot app, especially for YouTube. I don't know why that's a thing, but when you're trying to search for stuff, that's like the favorite thing that brings up what you're looking for is Whatnot app, not just Whatnot. Maybe because that's just there's like a double meaning, because that's just a regular word. But if you type Whatnot app, hashtag, like tag all your content that you create with that, and then people who are looking for Whatnot app specific stuff will find your stuff. Ooh, no, Greta, what was it? Wall Street Journal had an article about Whatnot. Wasn't there? Am I tripping, or was there supposed to be a movie, like a documentary? Was that a thing? I feel like someone was talking about that a little while ago. My eyebrows, you guys. I realized the other day. Okay, this is the last thing, and then I'll jump back into the thing. Anyone get to a point in their life where they're just like, you just like, this is totally off topic, but you just want to start outsourcing stuff. Shop Happy is official. And you're just like, I want other people to just be in charge of things. Like, I want someone else to be in charge of my outfits. I want someone else to be in charge of my hair. I want someone else to be in charge of my nails, like all the things that I don't want to do. I was sitting there looking the other day. I was like rewatching a video, and I was like, I need someone else to be in charge of my eyebrows. I don't trust myself anymore with the tweezers, because I have two like different eyebrows, and I was like, I need someone else to be in charge of my eyebrows. Is that anybody else, or is that just me that needs like uh eyebrow third party situation? I don't know. Big Blue, welcome in. Cleaning, yeah, there's things. Thank you, Shiznits. Thank you. All the rest of you were like, no, that's you. I appreciate you. Let's see. Talking about its percentage and growth. Their percentages are ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. So that's the meat and potatoes. That's like the highlights of that blog. But if anyone's interested to read the whole thing, it's not super long, 2 pages maybe, and it's from the 7th. From the 7th, and so Skipper Miller, same. So the blog post is there if anybody's interested. Let me see. We talked about Zoe's treasures. Send her your handmade photos and your logo, and she will be highlighting handmade folks in her Monday morning chats. And then the shout out today is Fragmented Artist. Let me tag her actually. Fragmented Artist. I don't know if she's in here. I was spending a little bit of time in her show last night. She was doing some new stuff. But she, if anybody is not familiar, oh, maybe she's live right now. Oh man, I gotta type the whole thing. Artiste. There she is. If anyone's not familiar with her, especially arts and handmade folks, she started or started backup. Maybe she started backup, but Art Talk Live, where she's co-hosting roundabout on a weekly basis. Kimmy D, how you doing? Roundabout on a weekly basis, different artists on the platform. And so Thursday, we are going to be co-hosting for about an hour over on her channel. I have a raid show scheduled to go live here and then raid over to her if anybody's interested to join that. And then she just is having like different unique artists share their perspective, specifically with selling on Whatnot. And those type of conversations, I feel like there's always value in them. And so I invite shout out to her for doing it. I think it's fantastic, but then also uh, tap in, and check it out if you haven't already. I think we're co-hosting Thursday, and I think there's another one slotted for the next Friday after that. Typically they're on Fridays, and they're super cool. Rework is passion. Hello, hello. Well, you can outsource some things so that you can focus on making money, cleaning admin tasks, and you're in charge of, but you're in charge. See, I don't want to be in charge of my eyebrows. I'd rather clean my house if I'm being honest. I don't know. It's just like they just frustrate me. Anywho, um, let's see. So Fragmented Artists is the shout out for Art Talk Live. Have a look. Keep a bias observation for those thumbnails. Those are going to be good. And then the reminder, I'm going to bring this up every time, is September 1st. So at the end of the month, basically, it is King, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I agree. Seller provided support starts app wide. Everybody is in charge of their own customer service. So that's just a reminder. Oh, and I guess also, if anyone did miss the memo last week, Whatnot Sellers changed their show lineup. They added a whole bunch of shows, and they're very targeted towards new sellers, probably because there's 650,000 new sellers coming to, or new users coming to the app every week. So they have like this whole series for new folks. It's titled something like your first 30 days on Whatnot or something like that. It has this kind of little graphic to show like 0 to 1,000 sales. And I caught some. It starts later in the day. It starts freaking right when I start work, which is lame. But I'm waiting to see. Typically, they post, if you miss it, typically they post them to YouTube, to Whatnot app on YouTube. I haven't seen these ones just yet, but I still recommend checking them out. And they still have like co-host sessions sprinkled in to share stories of different successful sellers and stuff, sprinkled into the new seller education lineup. And so they are live tonight at 4 o'clock Pacific. And so check it out. Yeah, 4 p.m. Pacific. Thank you. Yeah. So Sarah, welcome in. So Whatnot Sellers has new shows, and I think check them out. But yeah, I think it was Craig was on there, the cookie seller, handmade cookies. His wife makes cookies. He was on there this last time, and so it's good stuff. So that said, you guys, are we ready to dive into Z? We've been here an hour already. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna need like a timer to be like, Breezy, get into the topic at like 30 minutes or something. Oh my god. How have we been here an hour? You guys, the quote. We're talking about systems today. The quote is, there was actually a couple of really good quotes. I could only pick one. I might read some more at the end because I did save some, but quote, the success you want starts with the systems you build. The success you want starts with the systems you build. I am a huge fan of systems because systems are repeatable. This is the key thing. So this is where we get into the chew. If anybody's new here, systems are repeatable. They are things that we create for different um, areas of our operation, because we can have tons of systems for all different kind of things. Because that was a that kind of like um, Tourette style kind of comes off the tongue sometimes, but it was a why did the chicken cross the road? Because anyway, what was I just saying? Just systems are repeatable, and they're I'm such a fan of them because when we create, because they take a little bit of investment and time up front to establish them, but when we establish systems, then we've built something that is repeatable. So it does a couple things. It makes it outsourceable, right? It makes it hireable. Like if we have a shipping system, we can then train someone on that system and say, here you go. That's how you do that there. Here's where the things are. Here's the process. Here's the time allotment. And here's, the expectations and here's the goals. There's all this like thing built around it, right? It's very employee friendly, but it's also super friendly for us to manage and dial in, because if we have a system that is repeatable, if we're doing the same thing over and over again, it makes it so that we can easily identify it's like a control group, a control of some sort, so we can easily identify, okay, this is the system, and so how can I make this system more efficient? You can look at it and say, well, every single time, this is the most time consuming part, or every single time, this is the most costly portion. Every single time, this is this or this is that, right? And so you can look at it if it's repeated, if it's a repeatable system, and you can easily see where to trim the fat and what needs to be added. Like you can dial it in and fine tune it, right? If you have a system, you can go, okay, this when I do it like this, when I do shipping like this, it takes me 4 hours. I need to get that down to 3 hours or down to 2 hours. And so what do I change about the system in order to do that? That's the power of systems. It gives you a control that you can dial in. Um, and then there was something else I was gonna say about it. I'm sure it'll come up. But systems, systems also open up like your mental bandwidth for other things, because when we're doing repeated tasks, we don't really have to think about them much anymore. But if they're not repeatable tasks, there's not systems built, then we're kind of like going kind of shooting from the hip each time, kind of just winging it each time. If we have I do have a couple examples here, but this is more just like a conceptual thing, I guess. If we have a show process, okay, so we decide we on our show format, we want to do an auction show. Okay, cool. We want to do an auction show every um, Wednesday at noon. Okay, cool. We want to be live for 1 hour in this auction, 1 to 2 hours, we'll say, for our auction show. Okay, fantastic. And we want to run through 50 to or 100 inventory items. This starting bid, this is our shipping settings. Like, okay, great. If we have all the boxes checked of this is what I'm doing. This is the what, this is the why, this is the when, this is the how. If I have all these boxes checked, then I don't have to think about it, right? So the next Wednesday when I go live, I already know what I'm doing, right? I already know what that system looks like. I know what that process looks like. So that's very different than if we're going live. And this is, we noticed this more in the beginning when we go live and we're just like kind of doing pop-ups, or we just kind of like, okay, well, I have this here stuff. And like sometimes my listings are curated, sometimes they're not. Sometimes what I'm showing is in theme with each other, sometimes it's not. It just kind of depends on how I feel that day or what I have in stock at the time or what, packaging material I got or whatever. Like it just can depend on a lot of things if it's not a system. And so I think that the system itself allows for like a level of efficiency that we simply cannot get if we're just if we're just winging it constantly. I'm talking I'm talking my language. I wing it. You know what? So I will say there's a lot of sellers who wing it very well. So I don't want to discount that. It is definitely a way to do it, and it can be definitely successful. So, and matter of fact, I guess I should probably say anything I say if anybody is new to me, because I do see some new names in here. Anything I say is only um, some stuff to consider just being offered. Definitely nothing I say is like any kind of like a Bible or like thou shall, or there's no right or wrong way to do it. With live sales, it really, everybody should just do what works for them, what works for you. Anything that I say that resonates, amazing. Anything I say that doesn't resonate, just leave it there. That's fine too. But I hope that some of it will be like of some kind of value or something like that. So the more I grow, the less I wing it faded. I love that you say that because I think it is something that we build in over time. I think it is something we build in over time. And if we look at everyone has different definitions kind of success, but if we like look, I think, just picture like our favorite sellers, like, you know, top three favorite sellers that we like to watch their sales shows, right? We may notice if we look through the lens that is systems, we may notice the systems that they have in place. We may notice systems also offer consistency, and consistency leads to trust, right? Because if people come into I know I've said this before, but I think it's relevant for so many things. If people come into our show, especially for the first time, and they're like, you know what, I kind of like this. Vibe is good. Products seem all right. I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. I like what the chat's doing. This is like positive environment, whatever like that. Like hang around for a while. You end up being a buyer or something like that. You follow. You basically end up subscribing. You stay for more than a half hour or something. You end up kind of subscribing to that person. You buying into that seller, right? And then you end up buying a product, or maybe it takes a couple visits to then buy a product or something like that. But whatever you experienced that triggered you to follow that person, that is what you expect to return to when you come back to their show in the future, because that's what you bought into. And so if sellers change up their stuff too much, we risk losing we risk compromising trust. And ask me how I know, right? Because I some of you guys know that have been on this journey with me for a while. Like, I consistency is my Achilles. It's so hard for me to for me to be consistent. This Tuesday chat is like the one thing that I was like, I just have to stick to something. It's hard to be consistent though, but it matters because trust, right? And systems allow for consistency. Because if we just say, hey, this is what I'm doing, make the decision, this is what I'm doing, right? Because if we know, then we can communicate that and offer that to our audience and our buyers. And this goes for all aspects, right? Because we used the example of like packaging before. If we systems offer standards, right? And so if we package something um, super bougie, for instance, because we just using what we got, right? And we just package something super bougie, and then the buyer gets it, and they're like, "Oh, kind of bougie, kind of like it, And then they go to buy another thing, and then it's like upcycled packaging. Nothing wrong with that, but the two things being inconsistent with each other can lead to confusion for the buyer, and then they don't know. Now they don't know. The third time they go to buy something, what are they going to get? Are they going to get the bougie version, or are they going to get the Kimmy D? Did you post something on YouTube? Because I just got a pop up that said Kimmy D at the top of my, like, I got like a notification, like a Kimmy D notification. Um, so then they don't know, well, if I buy something for the third time, I don't know what I'm getting, right? And so because there's no like system in place for that. Oh, was it yesterday? Oh, okay. My notifications are late AF. So seriously need to have a system. I just have not mastered this. Hey, you know what? There's so many deal master Kim. There are so many things that we have to sort out for like the live sales stuff that we really can only like focus on one thing at a time. Like I'm confident in that. Like there's just so many, like the chart, right? Our pie chart. We have all the hats of the business. We're the seller, we're the sourcer, we're the shipper, the packager and shipper. We do the marketing, we do the content creation, we're managing different socials. We are doing the admin, we're creating the listings, we're the photographer, we're the networker. We are everything. We design our logo and our brand, like we create our brand from scratch. Like we do everything. And then we have to learn the tech. We have to learn how to entertain and hold a room. We have to learn sales processes. Like we have to learn all the buttons and all the tools. Now we got to figure out points, right? There's so many things that it is like impossible to just proceed with everything. Like we have to just go, okay, well, what am I going to focus on today? And then that just has to be um, good enough because it's just too much. It just really is too much. But systems allow us to go, okay, here's what I'm doing for this, right? When we sit down and we can focus on one aspect, whether even if for arts and handmade, just our process for making stuff. For instance, for videotaping our stuff, for our demos, like there's things, right? So once we go, okay, this is what I'm focusing on. I'm gonna focus here and invest my attention here until I get a system down. Once I get that system down, I can repeat it, right? Because that's the beauty of systems. It's repeatable almost to like a brainless, like we don't have to think about it. We don't, it does not, when something is repeated, it's like turns into like a mundane task. We don't have to eat up all our mental energy on that thing. And so that frees up our bandwidth to figure out all these other parts to the business that we also have to learn and master, right? So systems, we can go, okay, I figured that out, button that up, put it on the shelf. I'm gonna keep doing it, but I don't have to think about it. Now I can move on to the focusing on the next thing. Squirrel Shop, welcome in. Chucky, welcome in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tover, you rock. Thank you. Okay, so everybody follow Envy. He's new. Welcome to it. Skipper Miller, it is hard with ADHD. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the way I put the notes is just to offer, really, I just wanted to talk the concept, but I do have like a little offer as far as like simplifying like um, the components of a system, I guess. I maybe it would look different for everybody, okay? But oh, hey, thanks for that tag. I just saw that. Thank you. The components of a system. So it's just the concept, right? Its efficiency, it freaking matters. Okay. But the way I broke it down, I was trying to think of like what would apply to everything, right? Because we can have a system for sourcing. And actually I put examples here. So we have systems for sourcing, systems for selling, systems for shipping, systems for marketing. Those are probably like the things that eat up the most of our time. And so that's kind of where my brain was going as far as like a focal point. But then I was trying to think, what do all these things have in common that we could just, if we can figure what these things have in common, then we can kind of apply that to like anything in our business, all the departments that we have to be in charge of. And it boiled down to for me, as far as like implementing systems, was each task that we have, each thing that sector of our business, each piece slice of the pie chart, needs a schedule, right? Time carved out for that thing. If we don't have time carved out for something, it could be that there's not a system attached to it, right? Because if we're sourcing, when are we sourcing? How does that fit into our schedule, right? Because if we're the live seller, the entrepreneur, the business owner, right? We create our schedule. We're in charge. We manage our time, money, all the things, right? So uh when we do like the time that we've carved out and allotted to get cover all the tasks for our business, right? Apply to everything. So the schedule, like which days, what times, and for how long, where is that window in our schedule to do all the things, everything, everything. Okay. Schedule is the first thing for making a system. Resources and process. So when are we doing the thing? What do we need to do it? What do we need? What resources do we need, right? If we're shipping, what do we need? Okay, we're shipping right after the show. That's the window carved out. Okay, cool. What do we need? Right? What all resources? We need a label maker. We need labels. We need some poly bags. We need some boxes. We need some packing paper, like bubble wrap, whatever, like that. Like all the resources. What do we need for it to complete that? Right? Because the resources are part of the system. If we don't have those resources, then we're winging it when it comes to we're just working with what we have, right? So schedule, resources, and then process. Like, how are we doing the thing? Like, what is our process for packaging? Right? Are we doing the PWE first? Are we doing the slung base first? Do we have like a number system that we're referencing? Do we do next day shipping? Do we have a packer? Um, do anything, excuse me, anything that could apply to like, okay, um this is how, like, from the time my show ends to the time the stuff gets to the mailbox, all the steps that we take in there go in order and make up a process, right? So and we know if we have a process, because again, like if we can teach it to a hypothetical employee, then there's a process there. So schedule, resources, and process. Schedule, resources, and process. There's probably other things, but I think in general, this makes up the system, right? Because when, with what, and how are we doing the thing? If we identify these three things, in other words, if we can answer these three questions of when, with what, and how for any aspect of our business, marketing, shipping, sourcing, selling, when, with what, and how, then we've got ourselves a process, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect to start out with. It could just be some baseline to work off of, right? So just thank you, Tober. And then you know what, Tober, I thought about that. I do need some way of I do need something like that. Something similar. I was trying, yeah. Chop chop. I need something. I was trying to think of something like that, but proprietary is where I was kind of like my brain kind of stopped and working on it. I'm still brainstorming. Let's see. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Facts. Lost Mermaid. This is facts. Uh, just starting with anything. The system. We could just start with baby step. Like what day? What day do I want to go live? Right, for selling, for our system for selling. What day do I want to go live? Right. We know, being on the platform for a little while, we know that it's difficult to get traction if we don't have a live show schedule. Right. If our viewers can't remember when we're on, they're less likely to tap into our shows. Most people turn their notifications straight off. There you go. I'm done with this. I'm not working off these. Amber Caretti, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. And so Oh, King, I'm sorry, I just saw that. Washington State. Washington State, if you're here still. Um, yeah, so I forget what my brain was. I guess so. That's that ADD stuff. Distract myself. Happy Tuesday. Anyhow, it's I want to give some examples uh between these departments, and that's basically the two. But essentially, I think I was talking about schedule. Oh, for a live show. Baby steps, right? That's what I was saying. If we're like, dude, I don't know what my whole live show operation is going to look like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be everything at once. We can just decide part of it, right? If we need to figure out the schedule, the resources, and the process, then we just start with one of them. We just say, what day is it going to be easiest for me to go live consistently? Um, Picking one day, and then maybe the time fluctuates, and then when we're ready, try and nail down a time of like, okay, well, I played with this day a couple different times, and I find out, come to find mornings are best for me. Like, okay, then anchor that in, and then you put a pin in that, and then you have the bandwidth for the next part of your system, right? And then you figure, okay, play around with bin shows, I'm gonna play around with auction shows, I'm gonna play around with mystery bags, I'm gonna play around with giveaways, I'm gonna play around with raid protocols, all the things that are it worked into live shows. We can one by one go, okay, now let me figure this part out, now let me figure this part out. Like, it's too much to do everything at once. But if we don't do any of it, right, then we're in the same position a year from now. But if we just do one thing at a time, then eventually you just go, oh shoot, well, now, hot dog, it looks like I have a sales show established, right? And then you can move on to, okay, what do I want my next show to be, or something like that. And so, baby steps. So, um let's look. So this applies to everything, but the only areas that I wrote down notes for were the sourcing, selling, shipping, and marketing. I think if we are to build systems, these are the first, second, third, and fourth areas to do it. Generally in this order too. Well, selling probably number one. Well, no, because selling starts with sourcing. So I guess it wouldn't. It would just depend on our operation. Either case, for sourcing, it this is tricky depending on. Actually, can I ask you guys? Does anyone in here have a system for sourcing? In other words, a repeatable. When it's time to source, you're like, this is what I'm generally buying. This is from who, this is when, and this is the duration roughly. So I have, for instance, 4 hours carved out in the week to do my sourcing, and this is where I'm getting the stuff from. These are my go-to, top 5 resources for sourcing stuff, and then come back with it. Does anyone have something like that? Unfortunately, my sourcing income, when people pass away, and I clean out houses after people pass away, and that's when I get paid to do. I mean, that is a system though. So even though the time would fluctuate, I suppose, yeah, the time would fluctuate, but um, still, if do you have like a Master Kim? Do you have a resource that kind of like a liaison that says, hey, here's the next, estate or whatever like that? So it's or do you have to go onesie twosie find each time from scratch who the next bundle is coming from? Wednesdays, Fridays, and so, oh, there you go. There you go. Kimmy D has a system for plants. I could see that with plants, and I really enjoyed being in your show earlier. Kimmy D. I don't. That was. I was in there and I was like, dude, I don't know. I never see these shows. And then I went and looked at your schedule. I was like, oh, because I'm always sleeping. I'm always sleeping. And then the evening shows. There's some evening shows, and then I'm always at work. And so I was like, that's why I keep missing Kimmy D. But I was all up in your bin. If anyone hasn't seen Kimmy D's woodworking, by the way, you need to get one of them catch-all trays. I know, dude. I'm gonna be dead tonight. I'm gonna be. I can't stand when people say literally dead, so I'm not gonna say that. But I'm gonna be very tired tonight. But it's fine. We got most of the stuff. I was supposed to be up like putting beads in bags because we have a bead de-stash continuing tomorrow. Which thank you for all the ones coming to those and helping me de-stash all this stuff. There's still like a ton left, and so I'm gonna attempt to maybe get up early. Maybe I'll bring some to work and bag it up there or something like that. But I'm gonna try to be on time doing round 3 tomorrow. I think round 3. But either case, and then simply smarter shopping, sourcing, yes, time allocated. No, it's hard. It is hard. I got a spreadsheet of suppliers and rotations. Look at you being organized. Heck yeah. I know, right? It's especially with sourcing. What I wrote down is which products from who or slash where, and then when. Right, so it's the same. It's the schedule, the resources, and the process. Is just when is it scheduled, like when are we carving out the time to go resource or to go re-up our inventory, essentially what we're doing. And if we can pin down a block in our weekly schedule, then we can kind of align it with our live shows, right? If we're going live on Thursday, we got to have that sourcing in by Wednesday at the latest, right? And so, like, they work together. And this is another thing with systems, is that when we have systems in place for the individual things, they can go together. I remember I took this class when I was working for the feds. I took this class called Systems Thinking, and essentially it was like this big picture. Crafting with Chris, welcome in. It was this big picture perspective for some of you guys know. When I was working for the government, I worked at the shipyard up here. It's like over 10,000 employees, I think. It's like the largest employer in this area. It's a lot of people. And there's a lot of different trades. So you have like welders, you have um, crane operators, you have electricians, you have pipe fitters, you have all the trades. And then you have like all the engineering and all the codes that do like inspections and paperwork. And it's a lot of different departments that have to work together to fix a boat, basically, is the most simplified way to put it. And so the only thing that makes that possible, in which this can be likened to our business, right? We have all these different departments in our business: the sourcing, the selling, the shipping, the marketing, all these different the admin. They have to work together because they are part of one greater thing and working towards one goal. And so if they can work in lockstep, this is for the win, right? But if they're all doing their own thing, it's like really, so scheduling makes it so that they align with each other. And the thing I want to offer here is that when we were in that class, the picture that was painted basically was like, in the systems thinking class, was like all the departments can be likened to a gear on a clock or in an engine, right? And each gear, they go together like this, right? And then there's these two, and then there's another one over here, and then there's another one over here, and they all spin. Some are this big and some are this big, and they all spin as one thing, right? And the smoother they can get the systems that are in place in each of them, get them on a regular schedule and a regular like frequency, and to allow this one gear, if it's, I'll put it like this, if this one gear, if it's spinning like this, so we go, okay, Every week I'm doing a sales show. Once a week I'm doing sales. Okay. And then so you go, okay, so now I got this one going. Now I got this one going. So once a week I need to do sourcing for that show. So then it goes like this, right? So now I got the sourcing gear set up. Once a week I'm doing the sourcing. Once a week I'm doing the selling. Okay. And then you're like, okay, now I need to figure out my shipping. Now I need to figure out my shipping, and then you add another one over here, and so you just keep adding to it, and it just turns into like this big, like all the gears of a clock. You get them to work together if you have each one, if you understand the operation of each one individually, how big, how um the frequency and all that kind of stuff, then you can go, okay, these go together. And as like a business owner, it is on us to like manage all those things and make sure the different departments are talking to each other and working together towards these same goals. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but systems thinking, that's the visual for it anyways, is like gears. And when the gears, they're either working together or they're working against each other. There's no in between. There's no in between. And so if we have um, a marketing department that has no systems in place, that it's just like, when we get around to it, this is what we're doing. It's like a wrench in the gears. And it can, if we go, okay, well, I just want to make this video and I have the motivation to do it now. You go, okay, so I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna make this video, I'm gonna spend 2 hours doing that. But then now that bumps the other thing that was scheduled for that time, and it has like this chain reaction. And so I really hope this is making sense. So I think that visual is helpful. That's basically it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sometimes when I'm talking, I'm like, am I using words correctly? Okay, so anyway, so for sourcing, um, for my sister is a chain reaction affair. Fair. Uh, does she know that? Does she know that? King, thank you. Dogs are great. Washington is a great destination as well. I'm still waiting for a Washington meetup, for the record. Oh, my system is a chain reaction. My system, not sister. I think that's what you meant. My system is definitely changes the sentence. Definitely changes. Okay, so for sourcing, I think for just goals. For these ones, let's just call them goals. Okay, for systems, for sourcing, it's identifying as few resources as possible to get our inventory from. This would be for resale or for handmade. The fewest number of resources that we can get our items reliably from, and then determining when we're carving out time for that. When we're carving out time for that. And then obviously the which products are we getting. That's the system for sourcing. That's it, right? Just what are we getting? Where are we getting it from? And when? That's it. We've got ourselves a system, right? For selling, when are we going live? I wrote down where, and I think I meant category for that one. It happens to me all the time. Um, I think I mean in like category, but when we're selling, it's like our schedule, right? Our live show schedule. When are we going live? The show format is the biggest thing here as far as the system, because um, when we dial in, like if we're doing our show format plays a huge role in the prep work and the post sale work, because if we're doing random poll shows, that's very different than if we're doing like a full curated listing theme show type of thing. Thank you for the share. And so if we're doing like curated shows, then that comes with it, that has to align with the other gear that is like admin. Like we've got to put our photography hat on and get those items pictured and descriptions in and listings up if it's a curated show. If we're just doing random polls, we can just get those couple, um, not copy and paste, no, clone, clone the listings over if they're just random poll, like generic listings. And so it, the sales um, system works with the other systems. It works with the admin. It works with the sourcing, right? And so, um, so if we're like, okay, this is the show format that I'm going with. I'm going with random polls. Okay, then we have a system, right? So then we know we don't have to allot all that time to curating listings because we can just import, clone over the random polls, and then that task is done, right? But if we determine, if our system says, no, I want curated themed shows, then we also need a system in place before the show to make sure it's like curated as such, right? And then the other part is, I wrote down, oh, tracking. I wrote it as tracking, but essentially for sales shows, this is tracking like what sold is what I meant by that. So when we are done with our show, depending on how we track the inventory as it's selling, we're either going to have a pile of stuff that we're rewatching our show trying to figure out who gets what, or we've got this system in place that everything's numbered, everything's in these different bins, or however we do it, but some tracking system so that when the show's over and we're sitting there next to, thank you for the hearts on the YouTube, we have this pile of stuff. We just know it's set up for the shipping system to come in and like tag them in, right? And so systems, they just matter. So for selling, it's when, what format, and then like our process for tracking the things. And then shipping is pretty simple. It's what materials, so resources, again, going back to resources, what materials. I would even offer that, like, how we organize the materials matters, like that's part of the system, like like sourcing the materials, our packing materials, but then also like organizing them so that they're, um that's, I don't know, part of the system in place. So when we're going to package, we just know where everything's at. It's easy to re-up on stuff. If we're digging for stuff, you guys, when I was starting, or before I was in the studio, I had packaging materials spread out between my kitchen, my garage, my downstairs, um, and like this trailer thing. And it was like such a pain to just go get anything because I didn't have like an organized system to just like go retrieve and just have the thing. And I just wasted so much time. And that's the underlying thing with all of this, is that systems free up time. They free up time, and mental energy. I equate systems with project manager time. Yes, yes, that's exactly what it is too. Time and workflow, 100%, 100%. And I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It keeps like disconnecting and reconnecting the chat. That's new to me. That is new to me. I had to find something. We're doing okay on time. I had to find something that worked for me. Traditional systems and workflow sometimes didn't work for me. My brain processes things differently. You know what? That's fair. And uh, probably different systems would work for different people, right? Because um, just because of that, just because our brains work differently. Like, or some people, it's like you have to be organized like to an OCD extent. Some function best in like an organized chaos kind of way. It's just everything in between. Figure this out too late in the game, and a lot of frustration. I believe that. Renese, welcome in. Welcome in. She want to say that she is going to skyrocket your business in the end. I'm not going to skyrocket anybody's business. I just offer stuff to take if it resonates with yours. That's it. That is it from me. What else did we write down? Packaging methods, process. I wrote that for shipping, and that's just to say, like, you know, the short of the long of it is, however, if you have 10 PWE packages to ship out, you got 10. So let's say hypothetically, you got 10 PWE, you got 10 poly mailers, you got 10 boxes, right? How you do the first one and how you package the first one, the process, the materials, the process, right? How you do the pack and slip, how you do the note you write on it if you do that, how you do the first one should be, again, systems are about repeatable actions. How you do the first one should be the same repeatable process as how you package the second one and the third one and all of them. So all 10 of the PWEs should be packaged the same because they should be using the same system, right? The same materials, the same everything, the same process. How you package the poly mailers should all be the same. They should be identical, right? If they have the same size contents or whatever, they should be identical because there's a system attached to it, right? If the same with boxes, whatever layers and stuffing and whatever we're putting in the boxes, they should generally be the same. Um, if we have, again, and the easiest way to think of it is if we're like, is this a system or is this not? Well, can we teach it, right? If we have a person that right here that we're hiring to package our stuff, how would we explain it to them? Here's how you do it. Here's, like, could we write it down, like, step one, do this, step two, do this, grab these materials and do it like this here, like tutorial style. um so that when they package it, it looks just like what you package. Like, if that is a thing, then it's a system, right? Do PWE last, really. Get the tracked labels first, even though we want to get the easy stuff done first. And then, you know what, Greta, that's interesting that you say that. And now I'm curious, before I say my process for that, is that, um, I'll ask it like this. If you guys have PWE, polys, and boxes, what order do you do them in? I'm just curious. This is just for funsy. What order do you do them in? Or is there an order? Or do you do an order by, like, the size of the package and the contents, or do you do them in order by, like, when you look on your shipping queue, do you just go down the list in order? Simply Smart Shopping does the fastest ones first. Highest order quantity to the least. Interesting. Bubble boxes and then PWE last. Interesting. Zoe's Treasures, hello, hello. Zoe's Treasures, we were talking about you earlier. Talking about, so if anyone missed it earlier, that's Zoe's Treasures. That's who to send arts and handmade photos and your logo to, and then tap into those Monday shows. Tap into the Monday shows. That's the person. The order in which the packing list print, usually alphabetical. Interesting. Okay. Crafting with Chris, officially one of the friends. PWE first, Shay's hours on average shipping time. And then Junkie Bunny says hardest to pack first. This is so interesting. You guys see that we do, like, totally opposite things of each other. And this is why everybody should just do what works for them. Whatever makes sense in our mind, like, that's what we should do, you know. No sense in working against the grain. Green and Leafy, I try to do whatever I think will be the hardest first because I have the most brain power in the beginning. That's super valid. Super valid. In order of least quantity to most. Super interesting. So, Pixie Lady, welcome back. So I'm with a couple of you on this. This is pretty diverse spread, I gotta say. That's kind of surprising, actually. I'm with Amber Coretti on doing the least quantities first. If it's one thing going in a bag, that's definitely getting packaged first. The things that it's like 20 items going in a bag, I'm saving that for last. So, in other words, the most time consuming things, I'm saving them for last. Reason being, because it was alluded to the shipping time. Great, I think, said the shipping time. And Simply Smart Shopping with the fastest stuff first. Because if you have, to each their own, but if you have, just say you have 50 um, even say 20. Say you have 20 shipping labels, 20 bundles or singles, 20 shipping labels. Uh, Shipping time will vary. Your process here, we're talking about systems, right? Your system here will impact your shipping time. And so if the fastest stuff is first, right, which to me is PWE, for my stuff, PWE is always the fastest, and then singles is the next fastest. Single thing in a poly, single thing in a box, those are the next fastest. For me, I'd rather have like 90%. So if it had 20 packages, I'm doing the 15 or 18 that are the easiest to get out the door the quickest and catch the mailman. And then I'll leave the two for that are going to take me longer. I'll leave those for last because the shipping time is an average. And if you can get most of your stuff out under a day, then your average shipping time is just going to remain under a day. Uh, I can understand though doing the hardest thing first though, just so it's like downhill after that. I can definitely understand that. And maybe it would depend on what we were selling to some degree as well. And maybe it would depend on what space we had to work with, right? Because if we have like one person got like 50 things, maybe we'd be like, oh my God, I can't even think about these singles until this big stuff, this the big bundle gets out of my off my table. So different ways to do it. Different ways to do it. Yeah, I like doing PWE first because like you just boop boop and then it's like done. So line them up with the least quantity to the highest quantity. I like that. I like that. I miss the 80s too. Richie Pirates. Me too. Thanks for the hearts. I get everything checked, weighed, and labeled, printed, and then my hate for tape kicks in. I feel you. I feel you. You know what tape sucks? I'll show you just in case. So I'll save someone the headache. This is like, it looks really good and you can figure it out with a little bit of practice, but this is packing tape, right? But it's like that craft paper brown and it just like, it looks good. It looks good on our stuff, but it's like, it just, if I left this flap up because if you just rip it, it just tears constantly. Um, it makes you want to just rage. Just look. Oh, totally unrelated, but I just saw this because it was next to it. These are going to be in the shop pretty soon. Only because they're wood. Only because they're wood. Little sneak peek. I don't know when, but they'll be in there at some point. Okay, the last thing, the last thing is marketing. Last thing is marketing. For I do want to offer actually assistance for this. I think marketing is probably potentially one of the areas that we sleep on systems the most. And this is anecdotal observation lead me to this. I really like that color. I'm gonna look for that. Looking Glass Treasures. I really like that. You should customize those, but I should. That's such a good idea. That is a good idea. What could we put on them? What can we put on them? They're like different. I bet Kimmy D could make some like this. They're like different kinds of wood. I grew up with these freaking things. This is like my freaking childhood. These and those little metal ones that are like knots that like you can't get the ring off or something like that. So fun. I bet I could do heat with the glue, even if it was because these are like wood glued together. I'll be brainstorming that now. That didn't even occur to me. Did not even occur to me, but now I'll be thinking about it. Could put a bird logo on there. Definitely could. It could be a surprise. It could just be that there's a Sasquatch hidden in there. I do like to hide Sasquatches into things. Just for the funds. If any, speaking of, if anybody gets packages from me, just know that somewhere on the outside of the package there's a Sasquatch. Every single package, even if it's jewelry or beads, every single package has a Sasquatch hidden somewhere in it. just for you guys, just for you guys. So there's a whole puzzle society and convention. Some puzzles are, oh, Greta. Oh my gosh, I've seen some on what TikTok, something, some videos. There's some that are like thousands and thousands of dollars because they're like little boxes, and I feel like they're typically wood, and they have, yeah, go birds. Um, little like drawers and little hidden things where you have to get in here, and then that opens a different compartment, and then that has a key to like this other part, and it'll be like a 40-step process to open up this damn box, but when it's all closed up it just looks like a cube or something. I'm like, what? But it's a puzzle. They're puzzles, and like some people, they just dedicate, like it probably takes them just months to even make like one single box. They're wild. They are wild. Looking Glass, you got me thinking now. I may have to I may have to put some inside this. I like it. I like it. Mm. Richie, record 26, 27.6. What? Thank you also. Oh, seconds, 27 seconds on a Rubik's cube? Is that what you're talking about? That's impressive. That is impressive. Solved a 5 by 5 too. That's cool. That's something that I never learned how to do. Solve Rubik's cubes. Always played with them, never figured it out. I could always get one side. I could sometimes get the second side, like the opposite side, and then my brain would stop. Yeah. Kudos. That's pretty cool. Um, okay, we're doing great. We're doing great on time, guys. Thanks for kicking it with me. Always, always. So the two for marketing, I think for as far as systems go, what I wrote down was platforms, templates, frequency. Platforms, templates, frequencies. I know we've talked about this a little bit before, so I won't dwell too much, but the system, having a system established for marketing, socials specifically, I think starts with the platforms, because different platforms are not created equal. And I think often what I see, oh, that's what I was going to say. Often what I see is like a piece of content creation made, right? And then it's like shotgun posted to all the different socials that somebody has. So make a 15 or 30-second video and then go post it to Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. And maybe it's a thumbnail video too. Um, maybe it's on Pinterest. I don't know. I don't have a LinkedIn. I don't know if people put videos on LinkedIn. Welcome in retro. But essentially using the same video for all the things. And I think when we are I think it starts with choosing platforms, because platforms they operate differently. Their algorithms are different. Their audiences are different. And they, like, some are monetized, some are not. But the work that content creation is very time consuming, and the work that we put into content creation, it's either going to we're either going to get a return off that or we're not. And I think the whether or not we get a return off our efforts starts with, well, which platforms are we trying to leverage, right? Because if we create a certain type of content that doesn't make sense for all the platforms, then we shouldn't even have that worked into our model, right? It should just be, um, okay, I want to post on Insta and TikTok, for example's sake. So then we look at Insta and TikTok and we say, what type of content should I be posting here, right? Because um, that to me is more of a system of like, this is designed for this thing. This is designed for this thing to the step one of getting to like an efficient model that we can leverage appropriately and like really milk the platform for whatever it can offer, is that kind of alignment. And so I think picking the platforms, and then coming up with the templates that make sense for those platforms. So for instance, if TikTok is more of a viral video platform, and has short attention spans and is very it's not really like follower based. It's just like scroll friendly, right? Like you can follow people on TikTok, but your algorithm is just going to send you viral stuff, right? It's not biased to your friends, if that makes sense. Whereas like Instagram is biased to some degree to your friends, and especially Facebook is. And so the content that we may want to create for TikTok would be stuff that is we might reserve that for only things that could be viral, right? So they're like trending things or um I don't know, maybe high energy things or just maybe like TQ, welcome in. But for Instagram, we may share like stories because it's like friends following our journey. We may share some behind the scenes on Instagram. We may share just some like random little like updates on ourselves or something like that because it's like it's just a different type of thing. So deciding the platforms and what type of content is the beginning of the systems there, but then like creating a template for these things. And so for like, okay, I just want to put viral videos on TikTok. I just want to put behind the scenes stuff on Instagram or whatever like that. Um, or to follow my product journey on Instagram, something like that, then we can create a template, right? Templates are the main thing here because these are for the win. This is systems have everything to do with repeatable, right? Again, repeatable. And so if we have a template, we can go, well, I can use the same template to show different products. And if I attach a frequency to it, which is the last thing. So like every um the if I do a sales show, these things work together like gears, right? So if I do a sales show every Wednesday, maybe every Tuesday I would post on Instagram, right? With a certain template that showed what would be in that show, for instance. But I don't want to start from scratch each time. Hello, Batman Drell, how you doing? I don't want to start from scratch each time. I don't want to go, hey, I need to post a video for tomorrow, and now it's Tuesday, and what am I going to post? Like, I don't want to start from scratch like that. That's not a good system. That's not a repeatable thing. That is going to take up 100% of my mental bandwidth to try and figure out from scratch what to create, trying to create from scratch. And so for marketing and socials, I think templates are a freaking superpower. If there's like no other thing for this one, it's templates. I learned this hard with YouTube because some of you guys know I was on this journey challenge to myself to learn YouTube. And you learn by doing, right? And so I said, how am I going to learn YouTube? That was the goal. And so you just determine a habit that if you just do the habit, then you'll get to that goal. And so I said, I want to learn YouTube. So I just need to post every day, just post a video every single day. And by the end of the year, for a year, and then by the end of the year, I should understand YouTube, right? Thank you for the share. And so sure enough, we've been posting every day. And like one of the first things I figured out is like, okay, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I need templates. I need templates. If you're doing content creation, you know that it can just take hours out of your day. And if you challenge yourself to post something daily, which isn't even all that unreasonable, if you have Insta and um, Facebook and TikTok and Pinterest and all these different socials. Thanks for heating up the show. You're gonna want some templates because the less time you can spend on those, that's just one department, marketing, right? The more bandwidth you have for the other things. And so uh, templates are the most efficient way to go about that. What are those fun things? It looks like pineapples, but I feel like that's not what it is. I feel like that's my bias. Pineapple bias. So really quick, I saw Greta said batch social media posts to save time and schedule it. Scheduling is fantastic too. In case anyone didn't know that, you can, I don't know if it's on all platforms. I know you can do it on YouTube. I feel like I saw that you can do it on Instagram. You can is that what it is? Oh heck yeah. Okay, I might need to get that. I have some points stored up, and I don't know what to spend them on yet. I was debating between, do I want these emojis or do I want to save them and get a jumbotron? I haven't decided yet. I like the rainbow colors too, though. I do like the chat highlights. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, off of what Greta said. Oh yeah, batch that and yeah, scheduling shows. So you can film. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do this because next is that next week already? Next week, we're going on a road trip over here. And so I was like, well, I don't want to try to upload videos on the road. And so I decided I'm going to film them all before I go, like 5 days worth of YouTube videos before I go and just schedule them out. Um, once you're, especially if you're doing content creation, like, you know, that once you get in the groove of it and you're like set up, you got your camera set up and whatever, it takes a minute to get going, but then you kind of get in like this flow, and that's the time to do the second video and the third one and the fourth one, and however many you can like smash into that window. Just keep going with it because that's more efficient than starting from the beginning and doing one video at a time and starting and setting it up one at a time and doing the whole thing. You have to, like, especially if you're talking to the camera, it's like really unnatural at first, and so it like takes a second to kind of get like comfy and all this stuff. And so, yeah, any areas for efficiency, 100%. My name is Tamika. Tamika. Stopped posting 3 years ago. Super chat. Hmm. So I will say, for those on YouTube, the live YouTube is like the most recent thing I'm trying to learn. I don't even know how to tag folks in that. I was in the archivist YouTube multicasting last night, and I was like, how do I tag for how do I even, I don't know how to do like the live stuff. I'm just baby steps learning the video creation and how to carve out time to post something every day. Tamika T, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. We'll call that close enough. Okay, take my advice. I'm not using it. My life is total chaos, Greta says. Currently, just things I have learned over the years and used previously. I think it's solid advice, Greta. Solid advice. AI edit and assist creation of vids. I saw that those are in there too. I haven't dabbled with those yet. Thank you for the purchase. I haven't dabbled with those yet, but I did see that those are a thing. I think on Insta and on Facebook, which Facebook owns Insta, right? They're both Meta. Like the edits is a Meta thing. You guys, we already made it to 2 o'clock. Um, I want to share more quotes with you because I feel like this was like a mouthful of info. So let me just I do want to share some quotes just to chew on. But to summarize, because I know it's like a lot of onesie twosie stuff, the main thing with systems is that they are repeatable and that they're repeatable and they work together. They're repeatable and they work together. They create the foundation for efficiency and all that good stuff. And I think whenever I was looking around at all the different areas where systems could be implemented, it came down to the three things: the scheduling, where they fit into our schedule, the time carved out for them, the resources, like what we need to accomplish those tasks. So, like, when, with what, and then how, the process behind them. Those three things, if we can, any area of our business, any slice in our pie chart, if we can determine those three things: when am I doing this, with what, and how, we've got the foundation for a system. Thank you for the share. For a system, and the more systems we put in place, and matter of fact, I think I was talking in the YouTube video yesterday, or I know, well, I talked about time, but this applies too. And so I'll leave it with this, and then I do want to offer some quotes. The thing with systems is that systems can The efficiency is night and day. Systems can take a 120-hour work week down by hours with implementing different things. And so, for instance, if we go, if we're doing 120-hour work weeks on average, and we're doing content creation as part of it, we might take the time to build a template, and then that one template is a system, and it takes that 120 hours a week down to 100 or 110 hours per week. That's the power of a system. Okay. We might narrow down our sources, our sourcing for like our inventory down from 10 to 5. I just want to keep the main sources for my inventory. I want to get rid of a couple. I just want the 5. That might cut 10 hours, another 10 hours off of our now 100-hour work week. Okay. If we dial in a system for packaging and shipping, right? It could be something like as simple as, okay, this whole time I've been going and dropping off my stuff at the post office that's 30 minutes away. Now I have scheduled pickups, right? So I save, I don't know, 2 hours a week just from that. Like, it's a better system, right? So it literally is time. It frees up our time having these systems. That's what efficiency does. It just gives us more time to do other things, right? So schedule, resources, process, making them repeatable. That's the chew. Okay. I feel like it kind of trailed out there, but here, let me pull up my Pinterest. I want to offer some quotes here. We made it to 2 o'clock, you guys. We're doing great. Oh, those are super cute. those are I can't even. Oh, that's super cute. uh what do you guys have coming up? What do you guys have to share? Do share whatever you guys got. I want to find the quotes that have to do with systems, because there were like a couple of really good ones. But the chat is open. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask there too. Oh, I do want to share though too is we have, so before I forget this part, what's today? Tuesday. 6 days from now, Monday. Monday is Artisan Alley. Lilac Bloom and I are doing Artisan Alley. They're showing off all the artist trading cards. The thrift shop trading cards, like the art series cards. There's like 12, 13, 14, I guess, which is almost the whole bunch because there's not that many issued yet. I think they're at number 25 last time I checked, but there's some artists that have them doubled up, and then Thriftworks is one of them. And so I think it's 14 different art series cards that we're going to look at on Monday if anyone's interested to see that. But oh, and then I guess I should share coming up in the Artisan Alley. September is going to be skincare. Okay, these are going to be on raidtrain.app. September is going to be skincare. October is going to be food and drinks, so like the handmade snacks and stuff, artisan baked goods and that kind of thing. November is going to be niches. These are like the one-off crafts, the leather, the metal workers, the silversmith, the glass blower, the stained glass, like these kind of things. And then December is kind of a surprise, so stay posted on that. But anyway, so that's all I'm going to share is just the Artisan Alley stuff and then some quotes. Oh, sorry, I see a thing there. Okay, with systems, I'll just go through these fairly quick. One of these is the one in the show notes. You don't need motivation. You need systems that make execution inevitable. Another one, those who build systems don't need to outwork other people. I think this was the one I put in the show notes today. The success you want starts with the systems you build. Systems turn effort into leverage. I couldn't stop. I was on Pinterest. I was like, these are all good. I can't stop. Your business doesn't need more hustle. It needs systems. That is such a true one to me. Your business does not need more hustle. It needs systems. It needs systems because again, systems are what take a 120-hour work week down to 60 or 80. Systems are what do that. Goals are for people who care about winning once. Systems are for people who care about winning repeatedly. Keyword repeatedly. Last two, sustainable success lies in the system. In a, Sustainable success lies with a system that's easily repeated. Again, that keyword, if there's no, I try to emphasize something so that it's like, sometimes I feel like I'm saying too much. And I'm like, I feel like there's nothing gonna stick from that because it was just like too much of the same. So I try to emphasize one thing. That's the one thing, repeatable. If it's repeatable, it's a system, okay? Repeatable systems. So sustainable success lies with the system that's easily repeated. And then the last one, I don't have time to build systems. That's exactly why you need them. That's the last quote, okay? So, um, yeah. So there we go. You guys, we made it. We made it. What do you guys have? Do you guys have any stuff coming up that we need to know about? I don't think I saw any shows shared, but if you have them or if there's any questions, especially if anyone is newer, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask. Um, Otherwise, I think we're just gonna look for someone. Is it Watling? Watlington. Family treasures. Welcome in. Classy, welcome in. Twice, welcome in. Heck yeah. uh Porch Talk Consistency Challenge tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Heck yeah. Porch Talk Consistency Challenge. So what is that? Daily chat show? Daily consistency challenge. For Bent Mandrell, Porch Talk with Bent Mandrell. If anyone's not visited Bent Mandrell, you are missing out. That's a mandatory follow in my book. Curly Q has Monsters Are My Muse this Friday. Heck yeah, still working on my stuff. What do you got planned, Curly Q? That's a raid train that's been on my bucket list that I have not made it into for whatever reason yet. Not many people say it right. Heck yeah. Um, I have a hard to pronounce name, so maybe that's part of it. I'll take it though. I'll take it though. Uh, King, I don't know about that question. About that one. A weekly porch talk. Okay. Heck yeah. So every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. That's what's up. Pixie Lady, I'm teaching myself how to wood burn. Talking dirty to me. Pixie Lady, what kind? Like do you have a wood burning pen? Do you have torch paste? Are you doing lightning burns? What are you doing? Any demos you do? I typically do demo on Fridays. However, I do torch paste and a heat gun, and so it requires like a bunch of prep time that like it's hit or miss if I have that or not. I think actually, and that's a good reminder. Thank you. This Friday, I was intending to make. I got a collab going with Mama Z. It's gonna be really cool. You guys want a sneak peek? Mama Z, if you're in here, show yourself. I'll give a little sneak peek. Um, I was going to do that, but Reggie and I, Lilac Bloom and I, are making a calendar, and we're just at the tail end. She did all these graphics and stuff. We're making a calendar for live sellers as a collab, and so we're just buttoning up the last like key dates that we want to add in there. So it's not just the basic holidays. We want to add fun days that are notable for live sellers and like retail space folks. And so Friday may be that, but typically Fridays would be the demo day. We get waiting on. Wait, I believe that. I had to look at it. Yeah, but it's Elemental Monsters, love it. Love it, love it. If I get in that, I feel like it's like I'm obligated to do Sasquatch, but um I don't know. It's on the bucket list. One of these times, I recommend anyone hop in that train. That's a bucket list train for all arts and handmade, as far as I um am concerned. Wednesdays. Oh, you did say tomorrow. Okay, Wednesdays. Porch talk tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, and then pen, the most basic of. Hey, that worked. There's some beautiful. God, there's some. I have a wood burning pen, but I don't use it that much. More so even just for like detailed work. So kudos to you. I wouldn't be able to. My demos wouldn't be helpful at all. However, I know that there are a number of wood burners on here that use the pen and do live demos now. Didn't used to be any, and God, I always just think of the burning hand off the top of my head. Well, Curly Q does some wood burning. Um, the Naked Maple does, but not all the time. Uh, the names are going to escape me. I know there's some on here, though. I know there's definitely some on here. Ooh, heck yeah. God, furniture is dope. Well, that's on the bucket list too. I would like to get into like some bigger stuff. I finally got I finally got some sketchbooks. I'll start taking to work, so I'm just gonna work up this like collection of random like pencil drawings and then convert them into like cricket legal burning. Thank you, Kimmy D. That's one for sure. Always doing demo over at Legal Burning. Really good stuff too. Like they do stuff that's like should be like up in the hundreds of dollars. That'd be a good follow right there. Legal Burning. Curly Q. Halloween Showdown. Monster versus Monster. Next one. Halloween. Are we that close? August, September, October. Oh, dang. Planning. I mean, shoot, that's a good reminder. Retail, you guys, Q4 is around the corner. Especially if there's any resellers in here, start thinking about it now. Matter of fact, we should talk about that. That should be a chat show topic probably before the end of the month because it is time to plan now. Arts and handmade, like starting to create the inventory. I know Leslie talks about getting an early jump start on the crochet, like the hats, the beanies, some skincare products that aren't super like summer friendly, like the lip balms and things. Getting going on it now, gloves, all that good stuff, scarves. Black Knight Customs is another wood burner. Yep. Heck yeah. Planning on making my battle item if y'all want to bookmark and see what I get done by then. That's good stuff. Uh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah, and if I remember right, Black Knight combines it with paint. Am I thinking of the same person? Wood burners are so there's no two the same. There's no two the same. It's like fiber artists. It's like you really just the style and the techniques and the design choices just so different one wood burner to the next. I know. It is wild that we're almost in Q4. Literally September, right? Is Q4. Our kids here go back to school. We're about to go school shopping this weekend. So like it is that time. I know kids are already in school in some places. That's kind of like the kickoff to, Q4 is like kids go back to school and then better start thinking about the holidays. Um, if you're a maker, this is the time to make Halloween and Christmas, in my opinion, 100% bent. Agreed. What do you mean poor doesn't love? What do you mean, King? That's on the YouTube. Oh, one-sided. I talk about that last week. Get going. Yeah, you know what? Let me write a note about that because Q4, oh my gosh. Q4 prep, that does need to be a thing. That does need to be a topic. We'll talk about it. Absolutely, he does paint. Okay, yeah, that's him. Yeah. People want to use it and wear it for the holidays, not buy it on the. Yeah, that's true. Yes, this is true. This is true. This is true. Um, that should be in the calendar too. Matter of fact, we should put in there a certain day in August that says start prepping your Q4 stuff. Start doing it. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek real quick. Let me turn this off. Sneak peek. I don't know if this is where it's gonna land exactly. And Mama Z hasn't seen this actually, but she sent me this. She's doing a collab with Lilac Bloom also. Thanks for heating up the show. She sent me this. Try to get the glare off there. She hand drew this, right? Mama Z hand drew this. Some of you guys know she does art too. Like she paints. I didn't know she drew until now, but I knew that she painted. But otherwise, most know her for plants, and then reselling some other stuff. But she drew this, right? And then she was like, "Here, so I'm gonna draw something, send it to you, you would burn it, and then send it back to me, and I'm going to paint it," right? And so that's the challenge that we're doing together. So she made this, and then I made it into like a Cricut file, basically like a Cricut friendly kind of a deal. I have to touch up a little bit more with Procreate is amazing. Either way, you got it. She said, you do the background, right? And actually, let me get your guys' opinion. She said, you do the background. And so this is what I came up with. And this could be in color with like wood stain, or it can be black and white. Okay. This is what I came up with for backgrounds because y'all know that she's like a plant person. Okay. These are like Monstera. I think they're called Monstera leaves, and then she's also into like the space stuff, and so am I, right? And so I was like, okay, let's do a night sky and all this kind of stuff. So this is what I'm intending to live demo one of these days. But it could be with a background like that, or it could just be like this, where if she's going to paint this, it'll be like a color pop and then just like a black and white background. Haven't decided which we're going to go with yet. I really like the green, but that may be because the other part is black and white. And so we'll see. But yay for collabs, you guys. I'm such a fan. And if anyone's like, hey, we should do a collab, slide in my DMs because um, I am open to them. So probably calendar this Friday, and then maybe this one next Friday. Maybe next Friday. We'll see. Because Artist Alley is Monday. Maybe next Thursday. We'll see. Okay, so it shouldn't be in June or July. In-person events are already booked for the fall. Timeline is like retail, and it starts in January. Yeah, that's true. This is true. Thanks. And remember, if everything is ground advantage now, it may take a couple days longer to get to the buyer. This is true. They say it's only 1 day difference. Do we believe that? Do we believe that? Um, the bird does look very serious, doesn't it? You guys, all right. All right. So now the question, we're 20 minutes in. We're gonna find someone to raid. Next question, where do we want to go? You guys, where do we want to go? Do we want to go to another chat show? Thanks for hanging around with me. Simply Smart says, I do not. I do not. And if, okay, I'll send. Oh, Pixie, yes, please do. Please do. In progress because I'm stuck. Because I'm stuck. You know what? You may have just unlock something with that because I know someone in Arts and Handmade was saying before that there should be like whole raid trains and events and things dedicated to all the work in progress things that we make, and if there could just be something in place where we could essentially buy the work in progress from each other or trade them. So one one whatnot artist started, a different whatnot artist could finish. Something like that. That kind of sounds like what you're talking about. Like, okay, well, I got they here, and then you just hit like creative roadblocks or whatever, and then maybe someone else has sees it and they just go, oh, I know exactly, and are inspired, know exactly what to do with it. So something, yeah, yeah, shoot them over. I would love to take a look. Uh, King, I am going. We are going. We are leaving. Thank you for hanging out too. We are here every Tuesday, and I guess YouTube it just cuts you right off. I forget to even say goodbye because on Whatnot, we just raid somewhere bent. I appreciate you. Thank you, and thanks for all the little emojis. Those are super fun. Super duper fun. Okay, there is a Ask Me Anything reseller support for from a beauty seller, it looks like. There's a We Were Just Misunderstood pen battle in the community category. There is Nurse Beck is doing some stuff. There's a level up raid train with 1.2K people riding that train. Masa Man, I don't know that name. Jill, hello. I won't. I will not bend. That's a lot of people, huh? I kind of want to go just to see what's up. That's a lot of people. There's a coffee roaster that's on right now. Calliope is doing a Rising Tide Lifts All Boats. That's a positivity challenge that Faded Flamingo and Lilac Bloom are doing for this month. That anybody's welcome to join, for the record. Somebody's live making bath bombs. I'll be honest, I'm kind of curious about this level up train. You guys want to go somewhere random? We just field trip it. Oh, okay, never mind. I don't mean to be a hater, but I'm undecided about all that. I'm undecided about all that. Uh, okay. You guys actually, so I just got okay, we'll go to Calliope. If anyone's not interested, now's the time to hop off. If anyone's not familiar with Calliope, she's handmade. She does a number of things. She's doing what is this? August affirmations and artsy aspirations today. So we'll see what that's about. I just got my first package from her the other day. She was selling these oven mitts that she made, and I was like, dude, these are really freaking nice. And especially for the cost, I was like, dude, these are really dope. The colors are perfection and just the craftsmanship. I was like, she's like a freaking professional over there. And so she's real laid back and stuff. And so um if you're not familiar with her, have a look see at her products and just have a little peek in her bin. I don't know if she'll have handmade today or if it's just cards or whatever, but she's doing the challenge and it's great. And it's just a positivity thing. And so if you're so inclined, just hop in, just shoot her, drop a couple hearts for her, show her a little positivity, something like that. If someone is in the need for an affirmation card, I'm assuming it's cards, then see about that. But yeah, otherwise now would be the time to hop out. She's super sweet, isn't she? Great vibes, all those things. Yeah, Tramelto, yeah. I I've been like watching it for like God, what has it been like a year now or something? And I just like it doesn't resonate. I don't know. It just is like a thing. I don't know. I don't know. But what does resonate is Calliope. So so let's go see her. Rising tide lifts all boats. Positivity. Just drop her some. Just say hello. Drop her a hello. Drop her some hearts or something like that. You guys, thank you. And she'll probably rate into another person doing the same thing. And if anyone has questions about what that challenge is, maybe ask her. I know there's like a whole list of things that people can do, and you're going to see this thumbnail throughout the month. Okay, so it's a good to know anyway. So you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Um, I hope to see you guys Tuesday. We are going to be destashing some more beads tomorrow. We are going to be demoing Friday, and then we'll be back here or Artisan Alley on Monday, Raid Train Monday, and then we'll be back here next Tuesday if I don't see you before that. So for now, I'll see you on the flip side. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, bye bye.